even now when you drive around, you can see one of our most pervasive weeds is poverty grass. That's been a big issue for us. And certainly a mandate from the growers has been, let's, find new herbicides if we can. And if we can't, what we've been working hard is to try to develop novel uses for the herbicides that we do have. And so the one thing with poverty grass is that it is a warm season grass, and a lot of our effective compounds go out well before the poverty grass germinates. So one of the things we were looking at was the possibility of having applications of Devernol go out later in the season. So then it could target the time when the poverty grass is actually germinating. And so the registrant was supportive of this, but we needed to provide crop safety data and efficacy data. So we were able to do that over the past few years, and we're still crunching a little bit of the numbers, but the crop safety looks very good. And I believe we'll be able to move forward with the 24C, which is a special local needs label, which is a lot of the ways that we can incorporate these novel uses for our registered compounds. So we're pretty excited about that. And then also the nice thing with Devernol is it can be chemigated, so it's quick and easy to be able to treat an area. Whereas right now a lot of the grass herbicides have to be applied either by backpack or boom sprayer. And so that takes a lot more time and is a lot more labor. And that's kind of a nice segue into the next part of our novel uses is that we're looking at one of these grass herbicides, which is clethodim, or intensity, and it cannot be chemigated. So again, we approached the registrant and we said, would you be interested in supporting a change in the use if we can demonstrate efficacy and crop safety? And we were able to do that, and we're in the process. The draft label of the special local needs has been written, and so hopefully in the 2017 season you'll have the opportunity to be able to chemigate intensity and intensity 1 for control of poverty grass. So we were pretty excited about that. And as had been mentioned, we also spent a lot of time trying to screen novel herbicides. And what we do is that we just kind of go out into the agricultural world and see what might work for us. And a lot of times we find herbicides from rice or corn or some unusual agricultural systems. We try to bring them into cranberries because, as we mentioned, we're so small, nobody's developing anything for us. And so over the past couple of years, we've actually identified 2 good candidates, but one, the registrant isn't really interested in supporting any further movement. But with Chateau, we were actually able to show some good efficacy against dodder and moss, which is getting to be another big issue which is coming up. And we were successful in getting that into the IR4Q for 2017. So, that's the first step that we need in order to be able to get this product registered, and I think it'll be a really nice product for us. As far as some of our extension activities, as Carolyn mentioned at the beginning, we were successful in getting a grant to train the trainers, so basically other extension personnel throughout New England, about resistance management issues. Because since we have a limited suite of pesticides that are available throughout all the small fruits and specialty crops, it's really important that we use them wisely. And so this whole resistance management was an attempt to train all the trainers so that we're all talking the same language when we go out and we talk to our growers. Because it's not necessarily for us, but say for people in strawberries, there's a lot more interaction between what's happening in New York and Vermont and Connecticut. And we just felt it was very important to get us all on the same page. So we had experts in the field, did a 4-part webinar, and I provided the links there if you want to go check them out. They were very well received. We had almost 250 attendees for the 4-part webinar. And then what we also have done is that we created a core module, which is basically just a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to distribute to all of the extension personnel so that we're all teaching from the same basic information about resistance management. So we've developed that. We're also going to be making a video so people can go and refresh their memories on the basic techniques. So let's see. I guess the other interesting thing is that we were lucky enough to be a recipient of the Cafe Summer Scholar Program, and we had a fine intern that came and worked with us during the summer and helped us with some of the Hatch project work that was going on, evaluating the herbicides, the impact of herbicides on these new large fruited varieties. So we were very appreciative of that, and she was a great asset to our lab. Let's see. As part of the EIP, which is the Extension Implementation Project, which I'm involved in administrating with folks in strawberries and tree fruit and vegetables, the main focus of that is to really provide one-on-one support with growers. And so what we've done with Katie Gantus is that we've been reaching out to cranberry growers in this area who are diversifying their farms, that are growing blueberries or raspberries or strawberries or other types of vegetables, and providing extension support for them. And we also were fortunate enough to get in contact with a Cape cranberry grower who's in the process of transitioning to organic. And this was kind of a unique opportunity for us to be able to monitor a bog as it moves from conventional to organic. And we're going to be working with him over the next few years. As far as just some of our metrics, as far as our digital information that's out there, we did revamp our website this year. We're working with Carolyn and Donna and others.
And massive support from UMass Extension.
Yes.
Who has a staff member that redesigned the site and then trained us how to maintain it.
Right. It was really great. So now we kind of fit in with the template of the rest of Extension, which, when people go out there, it helps us to be identified and branded as part of UMass Extension. And so we track some different metrics through that. We were down a little bit from last year, but we still had like 9,000 people that came to the website. The amount of page views didn't change at all, and people spent about 1.5 minutes on our website. Which I think is probably pretty good. I don't know about most of you. When you go someplace, you find your little piece of information, then you're running off to something else. And I found the top 5 were actually how cranberries grow. So we're obviously getting some non-commercial visits. But the IPM message alerts were very popular, as well as finding out information about the personnel here, and the chart book and frost tolerance were the top 5. We also participate with ScholarWorks, which really increases our digital visibility. And I put a few metrics in there. We get people from, it was almost 84 different countries come and download information. And the interesting thing that this year, which hadn't come up before, was a number of visits from people from China. We had never even had them on the radar screen. But this year they were second or third in terms of the publications that they were downloading. I thought that was pretty interesting. Perhaps our export, into that area is making them more curious about what they're eating. So hopefully that's what it is.
Good for growing cranberries.
What's that? I hope everybody's growing cranberries.
Eating is good, growing is good.
Yeah, that's right. So hopefully it just comes from the eating part. But otherwise, that's a very nice venue, and I've had a few other folks in Extension who have commented on how valuable of a resource that is for them, and that they would like to duplicate that. And it does provide an opportunity for us to get out information that may not be up to the caliber of a referee publication, but is still important information, such as the presentations that we do at our January meeting, so that growers can go back and see our PowerPoints or look at those things. It's a nice venue for that. And actually, they're accessed pretty regularly as well. So I think that's all I'll do, and entertain any questions.